Thank you all for joining us tonight for this special evening honoring these 5 fallen heroes of Monterey County and their Gold Star families right here with our hosts at CSU Monterey Bay, Salinas City Center, also known as the National Steinbeck Center. We want to recognize the President, Dr. Eduardo Ochoa, and his staff, Arnold Chavez and Justine Rodriguez, for working with us to make this event happen here. If we give them a round of applause, everyone. I want to announce that at the end of tonight's ceremony, we will unveil all 5 signs here together, and we'll ask all the Gold Star families to come up to the front to do that, along with our dignitaries here tonight, and also our 2 fiscal nonprofit-sponsored board members. After the unveiling, we will invite you to also join us for food and wine reception co-hosted by Scheid Vineyards and our contemporary catering at the completion of the ceremony, and with our 5 Gold Star families and fellow veterans. And we want to ask you to enjoy the amazing exhibit on the history of Fort Ord and veterans at CSU Monterey Bay, and that's going to be in this room on the corner. We invite you to participate in that exhibit. We're going to start tonight's evening ceremony with the presentation of colors by the Everett Alvarez High School NJROTC Color Guard, and it will be immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Kyla Sarsa, also from the NJROTC at Everett Alvarez. And then we will have our national anthem sung by our very own Yolanda Cervantes. I want to ask you if you could rise and remove your hats and place your hand over your heart during our pledge and our national anthem, and we will now have the presentation of colors.
Colors. Halt. Left. Face. Forward. Colors. Ready. Cut. Freeze. Act. Colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars rule a perilous fight. All the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order. Colors. Ready. Cut. Four. Colors. Right. Face. Forward. March.
As we call your name, And we will give a big round of applause after we make all the announcements. If I miss anyone, please send me a note and we will announce them in case I miss anybody. We got a good list here. First of all, from the Monterey County Board of Supervisors, Chris Lopez, on behalf of Supervisor, Chris Lopez, are you here? On behalf of Supervisor Jane Parker, Wendy Askew. Former Supervisor Simone Salinas. From the office of Jimmy Pineda, District Director Kathleen Lee. Assembly Member Robert Rivas, who will be here, but Robert Rivas is here. Thank you, sir, for joining us. We have a representative from Senator Bill Monning. Also, Salinas Mayor Joe Gunter. Thank you. Council members Gloria de la Rosa, Council Member Scott Davis, Council Member John Villegas, Council Member Steve McShane, and Tony Barrera and Christine Cromins. Also, Supervisor John Phillips, who will be here in just a minute. And also, we have from Senator Ana Caballero's office, Vanessa Gonzalez. And also, we have a representative from Assemblymember Mark Stone's office. We also want to acknowledge several military dignitaries that are also with us. We're very honored to have their presence with us here tonight. We have Colonel Gregory Ford, the Garrison Commander of the Presidio of Monterey. Command Sergeant Major Roberto Marshall of the Garrison Sergeant Major. Army Services Chief Laura Parsons. Colonel Hasman Commandant at DLI and his Sergeant Major Donahue. Sergeant Mike Lopez of the American Legion Post 32, Soledad and Iraq war veteran. And we have David Ambrose and several of his fellow veterans from the Watsonville Freedom VFW. Also, I want to acknowledge my friends, Jason Cameron, the County Veterans Affairs Officer, Sid Williams, the Chair of the County Military and Veterans Affairs Advisory Commission, and also our County CAO, Charles McKee. Let's give them all a big round of applause, everyone. But we are also very honored that for the first time, these 5 Gold Star families have come together for this special occasion. I'm going to mention each family one by one, and we'll give each a round of applause. I know I'm not going to get every family member's name, but I'm going to announce some of those, and then if you could all stand, and we'll give a round of applause to each. First of all, from the family of Edward Balli, we have his uncle, Tony Verretta, but we also are very honored to have his mother, who came all the way from Long Beach, Catherine Balli, Ruben, Sarah, and Ophelia. If you could all stand, we'll give you a big round of applause. From the father, who is one of our lead organizers, we're very proud to have Rick Cerros Jr., his wife, and several family members. If you could all rise, let's give them a round of applause too, everyone. The family of Rick Cerros, U.S. Army Ranger Rick Cerros Jr. Next, we have U.S. Army Sergeant Javier Sanchez Jr.'s family from the city of Greenfield. We have his father, Javier Sanchez Sr., Margarita, and numerous family members. If you could rise, also, the Sanchez family. We also have the family of U.S. Army Private First Class Conrado Javier, Javier. We have his sister, Rosario, his sister Lupe, Jose, Yesenia, Cecilia, all his brothers and sisters. On behalf of his parents also, Conrado Javier Sr. and Julia Javier, if you can rise as well. Thank you. And last but not least, I don't know if his parents have joined us yet. I know they were on their way. On behalf of the family of U.S. Army Specialist Vilmar Galarza, we have his sister Ruby Galarza, who sent us a statement here tonight, but also we have in honor of his parents, Pedro and Gregoria Galarza. Let's give them a round of applause too, everyone. Oh, they are here. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. Tonight, we are here to honor 5 American heroes who gave it all for our country and for all of us here tonight. Joseph Campbell once said that a hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. Each and every one of us each and every one of these brave men that we honor here tonight did just that. And we come together to pay respect and honor their memory and their families with these highway memorial signs that we will forever carry their names along stretches of Highway 101, 183, and 218 here in Monterey County. This effort started when I served in the California State Assembly, and my office was approached by Javier Sanchez Sr., who asked for help in getting the highway memorial signs installed in honor of his son. We were later joined by several other Gold Star families who also wanted the same honor for their loved ones. However, the first legislation I carried in 2016 was stalled in bureaucratic procedures during the last days of the legislative session. But the following year, I got the County of Monterey to sponsor new legislation, and it was carried forward by Senators Anthony Canella and Bill Monty. These signs will honor the following veterans who were killed in action in Afghanistan between 2011 and 2014. U.S. Army Chief Warrant Officer II Edward Balli of Salinas, age 42. U.S. Army Ranger Specialist Ricardo Cerros Jr. of Salinas, age 24. U.S. Army Sergeant Javier Sanchez Jr. of Greenfield, age 28. U.S. Army Specialist Vilmar Galarza Hernandez of Salinas, age 21, and U.S. Army Private First Class Conrado Javier of Marina, age 19. We want to be clear that these are not all of the county veterans who were killed in action in Afghanistan. This is only the first phase, and we hope to assist other Gold Star families with the same honor in the future. In May of 2019, just a few months ago, our Committee of Veterans and Family Members launched our fundraising effort to raise over $20,000 needed for the signs and for tonight's ceremony. Because some families could not afford to raise the money on their own, we made a conscious decision that we were going to try to raise the money from the community for all 5 veterans together, or we were not going to do this until we did. I thought it might take us 2 or 3 years to raise the money, but we soon had an outpouring of support and raised all the needed money with only within 5 months. We want to really thank and acknowledge all these generous sponsors who made tonight possible. I want to also thank the organizing committee members who met for several months to help make this possible. Javier Sanchez Sr., Tony Verretta, Kevin Peterson, Phil Orozco, Rick Cerros Jr., and my awesome staff, Javier Gomez and Linda Gonzalez, who really did a lot of logistics for tonight's event. Let's give our committee a big round of applause, everyone. We're very grateful to them and their service. When we needed a nonprofit fiscal sponsor to help us raise the money, 2 amazing organizations stepped right up to help us. Here tonight, on behalf of both the Salinas Veterans Day Parade Committee and Heroes of Monterey County, please welcome Tony Verretta and Kevin Peterson, who will also acknowledge our sponsors tonight. Thank you.
What a week coming up with all these veteran activities. Thank you for all attending tonight. And my friend here, Kevin Peterson. Right here, right now. There's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be than to be right here, right now. 3 years, we went into the chambers, myself, Mr. Cerros, and Mr. Sanchez, and we started off as a dream, as a plan. I think with any project, we saw it through, and we're grateful to all of our community. And one thing that the military teaches me and us here that are veterans, it's not about I, it's a we. We as a community came together, sponsors, whether it was thousands of dollars or it was $20. It was all greatly heartfelt, and we reached that finish goal together. I'd like to thank the current sponsors, Margaret Neal, Rich and Tia Lewis, Colonel Anthony Johnson, Chris Shake, JJ from Gold Star Motors, my friend here, Heroes of Monterey County, all of you that are attending as well, Kevin Peterson, Community and Natividad Osuna, American Legion Post 31, Don Chapin Company, Hazel Tompkins, my friend, Mission American Legion Post 564, John and Sandy Diorigo, and I believe Carmela's here tonight representing them. Thank you. Faith and Family, SMD Vineyards, and lastly, Scheid Vineyards.
Thank you, Tony. It's an awesome, let me back up. I'm Kevin Peterson, and I'm the president of Heroes of Monterey County. We're a local nonprofit that do stuff for first responders and our local military. it is a great honor for us to have been a part of this incredible deal that we're putting together here. It was, like Luis said, 5 months ago we met, sitting at a table and said, how hard is this going to be? And Luis is like, let's give us plenty of time. And I said, Luis, you're going to be surprised how fast this money comes in. So I want to thank Luis Alejo and his staff, which I'll do separately, but Luis carried this torch strong, as Tony said. It was a 3-year process, and it wasn't that he was told no, but it was a bumpy road of sorts. So I would like to thank Luis for what he did, and I would also like to thank Javier Gomez, who's in the back, the unsung hero that 99% of this stuff that you see here, we get to stand up front and everybody thinks that we did it, but Javier is a large portion of this. So thank you, Luis and Javier. I'd also like to thank Don and Cheryl Furch with Contemporary Catering for doing what you see here. They went above and beyond anything that we would ever dream that they could do for us. So thank you to them. The following names that I'm going to say here has kind of a different meaning. My son graduated college last May, and I did a road trip on the way home from South Carolina. And as a joke, a friend of mine said, because he said, you should get sponsors of the trip and we'll figure out what to do with it. And I said, okay. So it ended up that I had all these different friends of mine. I'm in the pawnbroking industry, and it was a bunch of pawnbrokers and industry friends that come together, and we raised $3,000 towards this project. And I'd like to say their names, but I think the part that strikes me the most is not only how proud I am of my industry, but I'm proud of the fact that most of these people are not from this area. So bear with me. I'd like to thank Seth Ward with Union Life and Casualty, Stan Lukowitz III from Loyalty Pawn in Sacramento, Derek Perez, who is not, he's a owner, him and Armida own Always Towing here locally, Angel Mazzano and Jan Schneider with R&J Jewelry and Loan in San Jose, Rafael Amador, United Precious Metals, Dave Lisso and AJ Super Pawn down in the LA area, Gary Delinko with Mid-States Recycling, another company that is from the central U.S. Stephen Foster and his family, the Foster family from Fresno Coin Gallery. Morris Adato from Cashco Pawn and Jaggy Lab from San Diego. His brother Yigal, also of San Diego with pawnleaders.com. My family, we own Salinas Pawn, Watsonville Pawn, and Seaside. It's a true honor to be able to be a part of this. And Tony Vito Wise from Granners Pawn up in El Cerrito. We'd also like to thank, there was some anonymous donors, and we'd like to thank them. We'd like to say their name in person, but they requested it to be anonymous. So we'd like to thank them also. Thank you.
Next, on behalf of the City of Salinas, we want to welcome a veteran from the United States Marine Corps, but the mayor of our city, my good friend, Joe Gunter.
Good afternoon. To the families, thank you. We only have our freedom because of your sons. We only have the privileges of being good people because of them. They sacrificed for all of us to have the privilege to say who we are and to do what we want to do. And there is no more humbling honor than to speak to you and to say thank you, because what they've done to make our lives what it is today. And everyone says it's horrible. It is horrible. I lost many friends in Vietnam, and I can tell you this: your sons have no better champion than the city of Salinas and the Supervisor Alejo from Monterey County, because them coming forward and making it so that we can be who we are and to have freedom in this country is because of these young men. And if you don't believe that, it's tragic on those. And for those that have lost sons, someone asked me what I would do, and I says, I'm not sure. But I can tell you this, we won't forget ever, and these signs will remind everybody of the young men that gave their lives to make us have a better place to live. So thank you, and thank everyone for being here.
Thank you, Mayor Gunter. Next, we want to invite the District Director of the Office of Congressman Jimmy Panetta, Kathleen Lee. Thank you for being with us. Let's give her a round of applause as well as she walks up.
I want to first give our sincere condolences to the families who are gathered here today. Unfortunately, Congressman Panetta cannot be here in person, but he asked that I send his regrets that he can't be here, to send his condolences in person, but also to assure you that every day he works to ensure that the service and sacrifice of your family members is honored and it will not be forgotten. I want to thank also the men and women who are in uniform today, who choose to don that uniform so that we can protect our country and the values that we hold dear. For all the veterans who are in the audience today, and many of you are familiar friends, your service did not end when you took the uniform off, and for that I also want to say thank you. I'm honored to be here tonight to help fulfill the meaning behind a promise that is made at a memorial service or a funeral for the loved ones. I've had the honor of bearing witness to families who are grieving for 4 of these gentlemen here today. And so when we say that we will never forget, it is a promise that we must keep as citizens. It is incumbent upon us to remember their names, their faces, their loved ones, so that your family of those who are lost will always know that your sons or daughters live on in the great legacy of our country. And as we look upon these wonderful memorial signs that will be unveiled throughout the country, or our county, I hope that each one of us, and not just the family and friends of these fallen heroes, will take a moment to remember the sacrifice that these individuals made when they chose to put on the uniform. They all took that choice freely. They decided to serve their country. And we have to honor that and remember that, but I hope you'll also take time to say their name. Keep their names on your lips so that they are remembered and they live on. I also want to say to the families, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I know you have grieved more than any of us can really imagine or understand, but I want you to know that we bear witness to that grief so that we can lift you up and help support you. You are in a club no one wants to belong to, but it is a club that is rich with tradition and support and love. And I hope that an event like this today, even though it's been years since your cherished son or father or uncle or nephew has passed, that you feel that love and support around you today. As we celebrate Veterans Day, it is something that it's incumbent upon us to do 365 days of the year, is to remember the men and women who choose to serve our country and those who have lost their lives in service to our country. And we have a long history of veterans, but freedom is not, as they say, free. It is worth fighting for and it's worth protecting. I want to thank Supervisor Alejo and the Planning Committee and all the sponsors who made it possible. But again, from Congressman Jimmy Panetta, just wanted to say our condolences are with you. We remember your sons, your fathers, your uncles, your nephew. And every time that we have the opportunity to pass by these signs, we will remember them in their service and think of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, I want to thank the officers who all brought certificates for all the 5 Gold Star families to commemorate tonight's special event. Next, I have our good friend, the newest Assembly member from the 30th Assembly District. Please welcome Assembly Member Robert Rivas.
Well, what an incredible event. Having just gotten here, looking at the at the program, and all of the sponsors. You know, twice a year, we come together for Veterans Day, for Memorial Day, but it's events such as this that help keep the spirit of these incredible people alive. And that's why I want to thank former Assembly Member and Supervisor Luis Alejo, not only for the invitation, but for his activism and for everything he's done to put this together. So if we can give him a round of applause, please. And again, it really is an honor to be here with all of you to remember and honor these 5 men. 5 men who lost their lives while serving all of us in the armed forces. And it's these 5 individuals who fulfilled their oath to bear true faith and allegiance to our country and to our Constitution. Because our democracy, the freedoms we all enjoy every single day, rest on the foundation of all those who have served. And the example that was set by these 5 outstanding men that we are here to remember. These 5 men who took on a job, who accepted an incredible challenge, a job and a challenge that few of us have ever had the courage to attempt or even consider. It's a job, a challenge, and these 5 men were united in the belief that our freedom is worthy of the most precious gift that can be given, and that is life. It is an absolute honor to be here to honor these 5 incredibly brave men, to remember and never forget their incredible sacrifice and their authentic heroism. These men, they sacrificed everything, and they did so for us, for our freedom, for our country, for things that we take for granted every single day. And to the families who are here this evening to remember their loved ones, thank you. It is my hope that through this memorial sign on our highway, that people will see their names and be curious, that they will look them up, and that they're going to know what dedication and service these heroes have personified. And just know to all of you families, our community is and will always be here for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Assemblymember Rivas, for your work and for your support. Next, I want to call if there's a representative for Senator Bill Monning's office. Are they here? But if not, I want to thank Senator Monning and Senator Canella again for co-authoring this important legislation. Next, I'm going to move to our Gold Star families. We've all invited one representative from each family to come speak on behalf of each fallen hero. First of all, I want to invite again up on behalf of U.S. Army Chief Warrant Officer II, Edward Balli, we have Tony Verretta. Give him a round of applause, everybody.
Firstly, I want to acknowledge my family that came here. Thank you very much from afar. My loving sister, Edward's mom, I thank you for coming out here as well. And where do I start? There's Blue Star and there's Gold Star. Gold Star is where they paid the ultimate sacrifice. Let me tell you, as a combat veteran, and especially out there, combat veterans here that can understand this, it's definitely nothing like the movies. It's scary out there. People get hurt, people die. But at the same time, though, with that tragedy comes the fact that we honor these veterans, honor all 5 here today, and I'm here honored to represent my nephew, Eddie. Growing up with Eddie, he was like a little brother. And I know, speaking for my family as well, there's not a day that goes by that we don't think about him. We don't think about his laugh, think about the jokes he would say. I do miss his calls from Iraq and Afghanistan at all hours of the night, call just to talk about growing up. Never talked about what he was doing, and that was fine with me. Growing up playing Army, who knew? Now, we have these signs out here, which are going to be here along our highways, and as Mr. Rivas mentioned, they're going to be here long after I'm here, I'm gone, and you gone. I hope that someday people do drive by and do research. Maybe ask about Eddie, maybe ask about these other folks here. One thing I remember Eddie is, aside from being a warrior, He loved to fish. Grew up here fishing right here in Moss Landing as a local guy. Graduated North Salinas High School. Of all teams in the world, loved the Philadelphia Eagles. I wish they were doing better, Eddie. But one thing about Edward, he really, really loved his family. He spoke about them often, all of you. One thing about Edward as well, he especially loved his country. Thank you very much.
Next, on behalf of U.S. Army Ranger Specialist Ricardo Cerros Jr., we have his father, Ricardo Cerros Sr. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to all the sponsors, for everyone that's here. I want to say thank you also. My son, he was born on Fort Ord, and when he graduated high school, after going through that NJROTC program, he wanted to join right away, and I told him no. After serving myself, I tried to talk him out of it, and he still had it in his mind to join. So last thing he said is he wanted to do his part for his country. So this sign, it means a lot to our family, him being memorialized in this way. So we just want to say thank you for all the sponsors, and thank you for everybody being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Next, on behalf of U.S. Army Sergeant Javier Sanchez Sr., we have his father, Javier Sanchez Sr. Thank you for being here with us tonight, sir. And his wife, Margarita. Thank you both.
Thank you. My name is Javier, father of Javier Sanchez Jr., Sergeant. I have my family here because I need support. It's really hard. Always. First of all, I just want to thank donors from the union members, the union staff members, Debbie Nervaez, Di Jimenez, Frank Garza, Julian Felipe, Julie Feliz, I'm sorry, Felipe Enriquez. Thank you for donating for this cause. And first of all, I want to thank Mr. Luis Alejo, Senor Luis Alejo, who made my dream come true, this dream that for me at the beginning was like an impossible thing. I just thought about it. I saw a name somewhere, and I said, well, I think my son deserves a sign in the freeway. I didn't think a street, but on a freeway. And I approached him, spoke with Mr. Gomez. Thank you to Mr. Gomez. He worked really hard on that one too, Javier Gomez. Mr. Alejo, thank you very much for making this your mission too. And even if it wasn't accomplished when you were in the assembly in 2015, you wanted to continue it when you became county supervisor. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for following up, and just became a reality now. Thank you to my family, thank you for friends, and thank you for everybody who came to this big thing for me. Very special. Thank you very much. I love my son forever.
Next, on behalf of the family of U.S. Army Private First Class Conrado Javier, we have his sister and several brothers and sisters. I want to invite Rosario to come up, but also if the other brothers and sisters want to come up with her, they're welcome to do that too. Let's give them a round of applause, all the siblings together on behalf of their brother.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rosario Javier Diaz, and I'm sister of Conrado. It's all my family, and we have a couple more there. I want to let you guys know that my parents weren't able to come. They had a family emergency back in Mexico, but as soon as they get here, they, of course, would know that this event was possible. They would have loved to be here, but unfortunately, they couldn't. I just want to let you know that I'm really nervous, first of all. My brother, the memories that I have with him are amazing. I mean, he's a person that was, he was love everywhere. Everybody, you could just talk to him about anything, and he's just, he's truly a hero since, he was born. I could tell that he was really special. I mean, my sons, my nephews, my nieces, my sister right here, he loved his family like you won't imagine. And he was born here in Salinas, Natividad, and I could just go on and tell great things about him. And I just want to thank everybody that came. I would love to thank all the sponsors. I'm thankful for all of you. I didn't get tired of sharing on Facebook about this event and how people would help us to make this event possible. And thank everybody and everybody that's here. And I don't know if my sister wants to say some words here. And I don't want to speak. Do you want to speak? Thanks everybody for being here, and I would thanks everybody. Thank you.
Next, we are very honored to have the presence of the parents of U.S. Army Specialist Vilmar Galarza Hernandez. His parents are here, Pedro and Gregoria Galarza. But on behalf of their family, his sister, Ruby Galarza, has sent a statement to be read on behalf of the families here tonight. Ruby was born and raised here in Salinas. She recently graduated with honors from UC Berkeley, did a post-baccalaureate at UCLA, and is the first person I know to get a full ride at the prestigious UC Davis Medical School. She's in her finals right now. So on behalf of Ruby Galarza, my Chief of Staff, Linda Gonzalez, is going to read their statement. If we give Ruby a round of applause for her success in her education.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. I couldn't physically be here today, but I am grateful for the opportunity to extend my gratitude on behalf of my family and to share about my brother, Vilmar Galarza. My brother Vilmar was a proud United States Army soldier. He was always an exemplar brother and role model, a loving and caring son, and an exemplar altruistic human being. In fact, it was his altruism that led him to serve in the United States Army. Vilmar knew all too well the risks involved in serving our country, yet nothing could talk him out of it. Trust me, I tried. He felt it was his duty to serve and give back to the country that provided my family with many opportunities. He took pride in the work he did, and he enjoyed serving alongside his military brothers and sisters. He loved it so much, he decided to extend his contract to go on a second and final deployment to Afghanistan. Unfortunately, he wouldn't come back. Like many Gold Star families, one of our biggest fears following my brother's death was that his ultimate sacrifice would eventually be forgotten. But now, thanks to all the hard work and support behind this incredible project, my brother's memory will continue to live on in our hometown of Salinas for a lifetime to come. It is my hope that when you all see my brother's memorial sign along the highway, that you too will remember him and take a moment to smile, because that is what he would have wanted us all to do. Thank you.
Thank you, y gracias a la familia Galarza. Next, we have a very special presentation of a Killed in Action flag, and here to do that, we have two of our veteran leaders here in Monterey County, Hi Libby and Rick Finney. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody, to these veteran heroes who do so much work for our veterans community here in Monterey County.
Good evening. a little fuller introduction, if I may. I'm High Crash Libby, and not a veteran myself, but the proud son of a World War II veteran. My dad was in the Merchant Marine in World War II, served honorably. I'm joined tonight by two of my colleagues. Together, the three of us comprise 75% of what has become known as the Epic Ride for Dignity and Remembrance. On my left is Rick Shameless de Arana, also proud son of a World War II Navy veteran. And on my right, my brother from another mother, Rick Finney, a Vietnam veteran, Air Force. You know, tonight is a night dedicated to remembering. We wear many hats, the three of us. We've been riders in the Patriot Guard Riders. We are currently American Legion riders. Rick is with Red Rum, a Native American-focused motorcycle club. And we also are wearing the caps tonight of the KIA Honor Flag Organization. The mission of the KIA Honor Flag Organization is to make sure that all Gold Star families who have lost loved ones on the field of battle are honored with a flag so that their sacrifice does not go unremembered. We had the honor on our last ride across the country and back of delivering these flags to about 24 Gold Star families and family members in honor of their lost loved ones. Tonight we have a flag that we're going to present on behalf of, it's dedicated to all the fallen heroes of Monterey County. Monterey County has been offering up its sons and daughters in service to this country before we were a country. And the losses are great, but they should never be forgotten. So this flag is dedicated to the fallen heroes of Monterey County, and it's presented by the Monterey County Veterans Day Parade Committee and the KIA Honor Flag Organization, of which we are a part. So I want to talk a little bit about the flag itself, if I may. That brilliant red background of this flag represents the sacred blood that has been shed in the protection of our country and our freedoms. The stark black graphics are an indication of mourning, the shared mourning that we all feel over the losses of these brave heroes. KIA, Killed in Action, one of the most devastating designations a family can hear about their loved one. And yet most of them still view this with pride and with honor, knowing that their loved one was the one who stepped up and did what needed to be done and paid the ultimate price. In the center of the flag, we refer to that as the sacred oval. When these are presented to the individual families, the names of their fallen hero are embossed within that sacred oval, and only the family members are allowed to sign within that area. Those of you that have signed the flag and signed on the outside become part of this permanent display of remembrance and dignity. Now there's some symbols within the sacred oval. On the left, we see the helmet perched atop the rifle stuck in the ground by the bayonet. It's become known, many of you already know this, as the soldier's cross or the battle cross. But in this rendition of the image, there's something missing, and that's the boots and the dog tags. Now the soldier on your right, the one bearing the gold star, crossing the battle line, has a single mission in mind at this point, and that is to retrieve his fallen comrade. Because we know that one of the strongest ethics in the warrior code is that no one is ever left behind. And in doing so, he will retrieve those boots and those dog tags, the most personal items that a soldier can bear, and complete the battle cross. Now you'll notice below the sacred oval, there's a phrase, the brave and the free. During that beautiful rendition of our national anthem, we heard land of the free and home of the brave. Well, we've turned that around a bit, because we believe that the brave deserve top billing, if you will, because without the brave, there's no guarantee that we remain free. So that's why we say it the way we do. And then the bottom line is literally the bottom line. Through the presentation of this flag and through all the signatures that have been gathered, we present together a shared reckoning that America remembers. We remember these losses. Now, this flag is going to be ceremonially folded and presented to Supervisor Alejo, who has pledged to find a place for permanent display in the county building so that this, too, will become a permanent reminder of the sacrifice that's been made to keep us free and the sons and daughters that have paid the price in Monterey County. So, gentlemen, if you'd like to proceed. I would like to add that we will fold this in a ceremonial fashion and present it to the supervisor, but it will also be placed back on the table so that those of you who didn't get a chance to sign it on the way in can sign it before you leave tonight. Supervisor Alejo, on behalf of the KIA Honor Flag organization, I present you with this flag as a token of the sacrifice recognized by the citizens of Monterey County for the fallen heroes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And again, we want to encourage all today's attendees to sign, and then the Gold Star families to sign the center of that flag. That is left reserved for the Gold Star families to sign that before you leave tonight. Next, we have a special bagpipes tribute by Michelle Davinos, and this is a special request by the Javier Sanchez family at the request of his father. He remembers that when his son was brought back home to Monterey County and Greenfield, this song was played on behalf of, in honor of his family and his son. So if you could please, thank you for being, let's give him a round of applause too, everyone. If we could give them a big round of applause, our honor guard, everyone, for that gun salute to our fallen soldiers. Thank you, VFW of Freedom. We're honored to have you. Now, everyone, if you could take a seat and turn your direction towards the front. At this moment, we're going to invite each of the Gold Star families to very carefully. These signs are not too stable, so if we could ask family members to stand by each one. On this corner, we want to invite the family of Javier Sanchez Jr. to come up for the unveiling, and we were going to do all the unveiling together. If you could, the family could get ready to unveil that sign. Here we have the sign of Javier, Conrado Javier. If the family could stand carefully on each side, ready to unveil this sign. The family of Vilmar Galarza, also on each side. We have the family of Edward Balli here, and the family of Ricardo Cerros Sr. We want to invite our Heroes of Monterey County, our Veterans Day Parade Committee members, our elected officials to please come to the front to do this as a community. Our elected officials and dignitaries, our military dignitaries, if you could please come forward to do this special unveiling with our families here tonight. We're going to do a countdown and do them all together, and just make sure we do them carefully. Okay, on three, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Let's give a round of applause for these wonderful signs, everyone. This hard work. We want to encourage you to talk to these families. Each of the families tonight are going to also be able to take home these banners in honor of their loved ones that has their history, their medals, and a quote here. The banners are for each family to take home tonight. And we also have a framed, smaller version of these signs so the families can place inside their homes as well. We want to thank you for being with us here tonight. If we could give one more round of applause for everyone for coming tonight and making tonight's event even possible.